8th here at the Chang International Circuit, and for the second time this season, the championship can be won. So last time out at Motegi, VTR failed to wrap up the title, finishing, I want to say finished in 4th place, with Reps taking the victory. So what that means for today is, for Reps to keep the title alive, he must finish in front of VTR, and for VTR to claim the title, he must finish in front of Reps. So it's quite a very simple way of figuring it out. And the championship leader and the champion-elect is going to be the first rider out on track. So cloudy conditions, like it has been in every single race pretty much this season, apart from like a couple, due to most of these races taking place in either on the other side of the world, where in the northern hemisphere, where it's the time difference means it's just cloudy all the time, or it's in the southern hemisphere where it's still hot, but they just don't seem to want any clear sun or rain. So it has just been cloudy and cloudy and cloudy for every single race. I have no idea what the lap times are, but going off my experience here, probably 20 pole positions could be a 25 of some sorts. That's what I'd expect. Pole position for Division 2, I think, was a 26.2 or a 26.3. So that's the benchmark, which I think these guys will be able to do. And VTL doing very smart thing and just running all the track limits, trying to save as much time as possible, because this is a short track anyway. So if you time it perfectly, you might just be able to get a full lap run. It'd be very difficult because it's not like a short Sachsenring per se, but if you plan it just about right, I think the full run go could happen. So VTR starts his opening lap, really nice run onto the start finish straight into turn 1, sideways and braking. He's missed the apex, ran off the track, and yeah, and that's the lap gone. So unfortunately, it was a great start, but unfortunately, he just missed that entry point ever so slightly. No, here we go. Nick Jumping is going to be the first person to start. Oh no, he's not. He's lost the front. Turn 1 claiming multiple victims so far. And now it's Schmoyes. And Schmoyes has survived turn 1. He's not validated. He's not crashed. And he's making it all the way down to turn 2. And now heading towards turn 3. Hard on the brakes. This corner has so many different lines you can take. It's quite ridiculous. It's so wide. It's so long. It just invites any sort of line, and there's not really a wrong. There's probably a fastest line, but there's no correct line for racing. And Schmoyes, for some reason, is running the hard rear. I don't quite know why that is, because I'd imagine the medium rear is the fastest for the race, unless the hard rear gives him the stability needed to generate the lap time over the medium. So hard. I'd expect that tyre choice for the clear conditions, but not cloudy, especially the qualifying session. So here comes Schmoyes, the Austrian, through the penultimate corner, really fast right king, and now into the final corner, hard braking. You want to brake just about now. Tip it in, right device or not. I think he's used it. Up to the line, it's a 27.1, so that can definitely be beat. Nick Jumping, and Howling Siege goes to the top of 26.9. I think that definitely will be. Hulikar goes down. Rolge now up to the line, he goes third. Reps goes to the top, only by 1/10 of a second. Nelson, who could have easily won in Motegi last week, returns. Looking to go one better. He hasn't taken victory since Tourmaster Rio Hondo in Season 9, so it's been quite a while. Quite the wait. Howling says he's feeling quite confident. A lot better than the last couple of rounds where he's really struggled at Sokol and Motegi. Still adapting to this game. And VTR is invalidated again. I don't believe this. So VTR, it's not going well for him. Oh, Nelson doing that hairpin really nicely there. We'll go on board with Nick jumping as he approaches the final corner. Schmoy's taking the pit entry, getting out of the way. Alan taking the pit entry as well. Nick jumping to the line, and he goes into 4th place. Amir Tahifa on for a pole setting lap, and so's Reps. I don't quite know where Reps is on track. Reps goes faster by half a second. Amir now up to the line, and he goes onto the front row, but I don't think that'll last long as Nelson now is in the final sector. It doesn't look like he's going to go to pole position. However, I think this is definitely going to go to the front row, probably 2nd place unless he crashes. Rolls red sector 1. Into the final corner. Nelson just messing that up a little bit, just outbraking himself. And Nelson goes to 2nd place. Reps improving further. Rolls red sector 1. We'll see what his 2nd sector is. Nelson goes down at turn 1. So VTR and Hulicar, the only ones yet to set a lap time. Reps is continuing to march on. 26.8, 26.3. What's the next lap going to be? He's running a Marquez helmet. It's another red sector. Can this be a 25? Reps really needs to win this race if he's going to have any hope of keeping the championship alive. Schmoyes has gone down at the final corner. Nick jumping improves his lap time but not position. Whoa, and Reps has a big lock up on the rear and goes down. And yeah, nobody currently is on a improving lap. Well, Hulicar actually on his opening lap, which hopefully he can set. And it's an orange sector 2, so Reps has definitely got something on the riders at the moment. VTR at sector 1 to keep an eye on him. He's the probably most likely person to take Reps from the top. So we know Reps has definitely got time in him. Just a big lock up on the rear cost him. Oh, really car's invalidated. The VTR goes 2 red sectors. Vito hitting the curb on the inside of that left-hander of turn 5, so I think that's going to cost him some time, and he's had a little bit of a twitch as well through turn 8. He's kept the 3 sectors going as we now approach the final 3, now 2 corners, and into the final hairpin bend, which is really hard to navigate. Hard braking. Nicely done, and this is definitely going to go to pole position, I'm sure of it. There you go, 25.6, and that is your pole position. And Rolge goes to 3rd place. We haven't seen much of Rolge since his win in the sprint and ref in 2nd in the feature race. Hulicar running really, really wide. Somehow that lap was non-validated. And Rolls just continues to improve. So Rolls just staying out there, just continues to do lap after lap after lap. Which will be interesting to see what VTL's going again. What tires what front? Oh, what front tire has he got on? He's got the soft front on. It all makes sense. Lots of edge grip. Don't waste a lot of temperature. Or use up a lot of temperature on all the straights. And Rogers ran out of fuel. Schmoyes, I don't think he's going to improve his lap time. Yeah, he invalidates. And Reps for red sector 1, but he's got to find 7/10 of a second. Hard on the brakes. He's improving. And Amir is also red sector 1, so keep an eye on him. He's just going for the second sector split now, and he is improving. It's really close from 3rd to 8th, but the gap between 1st, 2nd and 3rd is quite substantial. Into the final corner. Hopefully Reps doesn't lock up the rear this time. Nicely done, nicely stopped, up to the line. Hopefully this could be a 125. It is a 125.823. Now we go to Amir, who's approaching the final, and he's run out of fuel, I think, or he's backing off the lap. Nelson running a special helmet for this weekend. Something to do with his 3 World Championships in VollGazz. 2 of them being in this in Division 1. The other, excuse me, being in a Moto2 Championship. Nick jumping, unable to improve. Rolled starting another lap. What tyre is he on? Where is Rolled? Sideways into turn 1. I don't think that's a great effect. It's on the soft front. And he's continuing to improve. Bit of a front end shake. Hard braking into turn 8. Amir's running the hard rear as well, so there must be something with the hard rear here, because maybe there's not that much difference between the 2 rear tyres. But I would have thought the medium rear would be the obvious choice. As Amir comes up to the line, and he improves and jumps onto the front row of the grid. Hulikar, his teammate, looking to find some lap time as Nelson is improving in the 3rd sector. Howling's behind him, unfortunately is invalidated. If Howling can stay on the back of Nelson for the next lap, hopefully the Dutch rider can jump up the grid and use him as a tow, as we see. Oh, and Nelson's off the front as I say that. And Howling's have to go in by himself. As Hulikar now is approaching the final 2 corners. He hasn't exactly nailed that section there. And into the final corner, hard braking, sliding everywhere, the rear's all over the place onto the curb. He's actually got it stopped perfectly though. Across the line, and he goes last. And now VTR into the final corner, braking just after the white line there, sliding it in, just missing the apex there, up to the line, and he improves anyway by 0.2 of a second to 25.4. Very solid lap time. The gaps still remain really close between 3rd and 7th, like just over 0.2 of a second separates 5 riders. Quite impressive. As Hulikar's improving, hopefully he can make that 6 riders within just over 2 temps. Oh, big bump on the curb. You want to be doing that. Huli does love to run that outside curb. He hasn't quite done the hairpin as well as last time, but up to the line. And he improves, but not in position. Everybody's on the last lap. Reps is down, so that is his session over. He's fallen victim to turn 5. Howling and Nick jumping grey sectors. Huli caught personal best sector, Rolls grey sector. Rolls hitting the curb, and that's Fortunately scuppered his braking, and that might be the end of his qualifying session using the ride-out device as well. Schmoyes managed to get in a lap in. Nelson also able to get a lap, always at the curb. Oh, that was a big mistake. That might cost him. So we'll go with Hulicar. Since he was improving in Sector 1, he's lost it in Sector 2. You can definitely gain it back in Sector 3. Still losing. I don't think anybody's going to improve unless they can find something magical. Yeah, I think this is how the grid's going to be. The car finds time in the last lap, but it's not enough to gain any positions. It's a very poor performance by Hulicar. He's been really strong in most of the sections in the past few rounds. Schmoyes will be the last rider to round out the session. It was a Prima Proud that ended it last time in Division 2, and we the same again in Division 1. So VTR on pole once again, Reps in second, Amir in third. So it's to be between those. It's going to be between those two. Then Amir, Rolls, Schmoyes, Nelson, and Howling all separated by just under 2.5 tenths. Nick jumping in 8th and Hulicar in 9th. Also, the riders in Division 2 actually, a couple of them went faster than the guys in the front row, so not exactly fantastic. I think it shows that the Division 2 guys definitely are worthy of moving up to Division 1 for next season. Just waiting on a few more riders to ready up. We just see what I think hard front, medium rear is most likely the choice, but we have seen a couple of riders use the hard rear, so I think it's going to be a pretty open choice for all the riders. Yeah, oh no, Roll just still waiting to ready up. Right, let's get going.
All the riders are lined up on the starting grid. The countdown begins for the lights to go out. Just a few moments more and the Thai Grand Prix will begin.
Hard front medium rear for VTR. I can't quite see what it is for Reps. But here we go. The lights are on. And we are away. And VTR's got a good launch off the pole position. Into turn 1 they go. Nelson sent up the inside of everyone. And they all jostle for position, but it is VTR who leads in front of Amir Tahifa. But Amir is going to use the slipstream and blast past VTR, and then Nelson is also going to blast past his teammates and now head towards the hairpin for the first time. It's all bunching up, Repsky around the outside of his championship rival. It's all clattering up in this hairpin. And it's going to be Amir and Nelson, the pair. These two fought for the lead at the start of the race in Motegi, and it ended disastrously. Heading in towards turn 4 for the first time. All big contact between the two Aprilias, and that allows Amir Tahifa to take the lead back. And oh, Nelson, a massive moment. Great save by Nelson. A great save. I don't know how he stayed on, but good job. And Rep's now forcing his way up the inside of VTR through turn 6. And he holds on to position now. He's looking up around the outside of Amir Tahifa for the lead. He's going to go around this side, use the curb, but that's going to force him really wide. And that's going to allow VTR to retake the position. And actually, he's going to get held up. Reps goes round the outside and actually takes the lead of the race. And I'll try and blue flag him, and hopefully he just lets. That was a very interesting place to let them through. And that actually puts him behind VTR now, but now into the braking zone of the hairpin. Reps is going to try to break the pair of them into the hairpin, and he's just batted Amir Tahifa out of the way. At the end of lap 1, VTR leads. Reps in second, Amir in third, Schmoy's fourth, Nelson in fifth, Rolge in sixth, Howling Siege in seventh. These two have had a few battles over the past couple of rounds. Reps is gaining on VTR to head towards the hairpin. He's looking up the inside, and he's through, and he's gone down, and VTR's gone down as well. The two of them didn't want to leave any space with each other. Oh dear. Reps looking up the inside. VTR didn't have time to react. And that now leaves Amir Tahifa leading the way. Nelson in second. And Schmoy's in third. Howling Siege in fourth. Nick jumping fifth. Rolled in sixth. Really car in seventh. VTR in eighth for Reps in that. If it stays like this, the championship actually stays alive by half a point. Because actually you have to be in the top 5. The pair of them have to be in the top 5 for that thing to work. For VTR to win the championship. Oh, Amir's gone down. And Nelson's gone down. Oh, there's been a huge crash there. And that now promotes VTR and Reps into 6th and 7th. And Schmoy's leads the way from Howling Siege. 7 riders are separated by about a second. Oh, and who's that? That's Hulikog trying to go up the inside of Rolge. And VTR's actually got the worst of that. And I think VTR's actually going to... He might drop behind Reps here. And Howling Siege just going for the lead into turn 1. And the Dutchman leads the race for the first time since probably like season 9. And Schmoy's has completely messed up that turn 1. And he's a sitting duck, and he's dropped all these positions. And Hulikar now moves into the podium places as Rolge drops down to 4th. Rolge on the brakes, and VTR has to take avoiding action all the way onto the curve. Runs really, really wide. And Nick Jumper's got down. Oh, and VTR's got... Oh no! Howling's gone down, Nick Jumping's gone down, and VTR, and somehow Reps has managed to avoid all of that and moves into the podium places. Rolled now into 2nd place. Schmoy leads the way. VTR and Howling now fighting at turn 4. VTR's going to run a little bit onto the curve wide. Howling Siege retakes the place, but VTR harder on the brakes, taking obviously less speed entering the corner so he can brake a bit later. It's all going wrong for VTR at the moment. Unbelievable. Nelson in 5th, free from any pressure from Amir, and he's got 2 seconds up in front from Hulikar. But who would have thought that this would be your top 2? Schmoy's and Rolge, Reps in 3rd, Hulikar in 4th, and I think Rolge might have just made a small mistake there. No. So we come into the hairpin for only the 3rd time, and we start lap number 4. Well, VTR and Amir make more contact into the last corner. Now hard on the brakes into turn 1. VTR looking up the inside of the Italian. But he just can't get through, and he's having to just readjust, and he's not having it's not like the bike's just not flowing. And now Howling's in the slipstream. He's got the double bike slipstream. VTR's going to pull out to the right hand side of Amir onto the brakes. Howling's going to try and go round the outside of the pair of them. He's completely missed the apex. Yeah, there's nowhere that's completely butchered. So VTR gets through on Amir, but now Amir is going to have the slipstream back on VTR as they head towards turn 4. He's going to look up the inside, and he retakes the place. VTR's going to hold it round the outside. The two make contact. VTR on the curb again, and Amir's back up the inside into 6th place. VTR's going to hold it round the outside. He's now going to turn it underneath the Mooney VR46 Ducati, and Amir's forced to concede the place to VTR, and the championship leader moves back into 6th place. He's head now towards turn 8, and Amir's run really wide, and that might allow Howling into contention now to fight back at Amir. Oh, now Rolge and Schmoy's are now battling at the front, making contact. This race is just never ending in chaos, and Nelson, fastest man on circuit, and he's really close up to these front 4, and the VTR really outbraking himself at the final corner. VTR's really pushing with anger, and Rolle's going to go around the outside of Schmoy's, and that's really messed the pair of them up. And now Reps is going to take the pair of them through the pair of them right in the centre, and Reps takes the lead of the race. Hard on the brakes into the hairpin. and Reps has now escaped. Reps, he's got his chance to escape. Nelson back now into 4th place. VTR running wide, but VTR is pushing like hell to try and catch back up to the top 5, who are separated by just under 2 seconds. Owen Schmoes and Roger now fighting for 2nd place. Roger get up the inside at turn 5, but he runs wide, and Nelson looking to take the pair of them potentially as the camera's really out of focus. Meanwhile, this fight's just letting VTR close in and really quickly here. And here comes VTR up the inside of Schmoes. Oh, he's going to take a really weird offensive line, and he's going to. Oh, that's not gone well. And Schmoes has gone down. Sort of all kinds of factors led into that collision there. Chang is causing such mayhem, and here comes Nelson. Going to go underneath the independent team. Aprilia bashes Rolls out of the way, and Nelson moves into 2nd place. All the chance to breathe here, and Nelson's now got one more warning before he gets a long lap penalty, and Nick jumping now as a long lap penalty. VTR is set to overtake Hulikar for 4th place. He's now in the slipstream of the VR46 Mooney Ducati. In the slipstream, he's going to pull out to the right hand side. No, he's not. He's going to smack into the back of him, and he's going to smack into the back of him again. And he's going to run wide, and the Colombian is going to retake the position. VTR's going to get the better run in theory, but he's being forced to run onto the curb, I think. Howling and Amir are now making contact with each other. Side by side go VTR and Hulikar cuts the Aprilia off, but he's at the curb and forced VTR off the track. And VTR's got to be careful, he doesn't pick up a long lap penalty here because he's only got one more warning down, and Hulikar's gone down. Unbelievable. That now puts Howling Siege back inside the top 5, holding off Amir. So much chaos going on in this race. Rolls holding on to the podium place, but I don't know for how much longer, because VTR now 3 tenths behind him as we approach the last sector for the 6th time. And when they cross the line, they would be on course to start near enough the second half of this race. And Nelson is the fastest man on track still, but I think that's more down to the fact that VTR is yet to have a single lap in clean air. As VTR is preparing for an attack into the hairpin, I think. Setting up turn 1 very nicely. Rolls not getting the greatest of exits. VTR in the slipstream. He's going to pull out to the right hand side once again. And then hard on the brakes. Always barged. Rolls right out of the way. I think the slipstream, just the braking points and everything, is just really causing such havoc. And look at this, it is a three-way fight for 2nd place now between 3 Aprilias. And the Repsol Honda Reps at the front, pulling away. He's got half a second lead. Both factory Aprilias have got 4 warnings, so they've both got to be careful for track limits and reckless riding warnings, which is so far. I'm being lenient with VTR there, giving him a blue flag because it's easy enough to give him the position back, to give him a warning and cause all sorts of havoc with long laps. Rolls looking up the inside of Nelson, but he just isn't able to, and he's got to shut the door on VTR through the left-hander, but now that leaves him over for the right-hander. The VTR bumps his way through and he takes advantage, and VTR now in to 3rd place, and he's got to dive up the inside of Nelson. He's going to run really wide once again. He can't help but run wide at that hairpin, and he drops back down to 3rd. But surely it's going to be a mirror signal manoeuvre. He's going to try to make an overtake into this hairpin once again, and Rolls nearly hits the back of VTR. Thankfully, the American misses the rear end of that factory Aprilia, and all crisis averted. Nelson has let his teammate through. He's made his life a lot easier than it should be for the championship's sake, and now it is Reps versus VTR. VTR has 6 laps to catch and pass Reps and take the championship. 1.7 seconds in 6 laps is just under. It's just over 3 tenths a lap. So let's see what VTR can do, and I think he's already starting to close that in. 1.7 seconds to start. It's now 1.4. So this could definitely go down to the last lap. But VTR has got to be really careful with track limits, as Amir and Howling Siege fighting once again for 5th place. And it seems like Amir has got the better of the Cressini Ducati. Amir seemed to have turned the corner in the past couple of races, taking his first podium in Motegi last week. After showing promise but always crashing and making silly mistakes and having poor qualifyings and disconnections and stuff like that, he is finally seems to be putting things together. But Howley's looking up the inside of the Italian, but he just can't quite find a way through. And VTR yet to set the fastest lap of the race. Just got to, maybe the tyre is a bit too spent now to set the fastest lap of the race. Oh, and Hulicar and Schmoes have had a coming together, I think, and Hulicar's gone down. Can't quite call how that went because I didn't see it, unfortunately. And Howling is still in the back of Amir, but just not close enough to form any kind of attack. And VTR has taken 3 tenths out of Reps through turn 4. So Reps not taking as much risk as VTR. VTR having a lot of confidence with the front end of that ability to just chuck it in to that fast 4 third gear corner. If it stays like this 1 second in 4 laps, that's 2.5 tenths a lap. This race is on. And the favourite passing point has to be turn 3. Oh, but Vito having a big slide there. The race spinning up a lot. Vito's just got a lot. Oh, he's gained 3 tenths in that braking zone, and the gap is now 7 tenths of a second. Vito still not set the fastest lap, but the lap Nelson must have set, it must be absolutely rapid. So half a second. So Vito not quite in slipstream range yet. Interesting to see what the fuel situation will be like. Holding the brakes into turn 3. But Vito will start to relax now, and he knows he's got the pace over Reps. He's especially in sectors 2 and 3. We'll see how much time he gains just through this corner here. I say that, and he runs wide. Oh, he's picked up a long lap penalty. I do not believe it. So here we go, taking a long lap penalty. So Vito's job has just been made that tiny bit harder. It's not a difficult long lap, but it sure is a long lap. And he's just going to come out in front of his teammate Nelson, who doesn't give much of a fight and gives him plenty of space to make sure he rejoins perfectly. But that might have just cost VTR the chance at victory. 3 seconds now in 3 laps. That's a second a lap, unless Reps makes one gigantic mistake. I can't see the Brit taking victory here. But Nelson, he's going to act like a shield against Rolls and Amir and Howling if they somehow come charging up behind him, which I very much doubt, given Vito's natural pace. But I wouldn't be surprised if Nelson maybe seen this situation unfold if he might attack. He's got nothing to lose. VTR, it doesn't exactly matter if he can't win it today. He's got a really good chance of winning it at Mugello. I hope Nelson can give him a go just for the sake of a battle for a race in the final 2 laps, but I just don't think he's close enough. And of course, we've got to think of the fuel situation and fuel heavy track. If using power 3 for any of these straights, you're going to have to use probably power 1 at some stage during this race. As Rolls went quite wide, but Nelson's all over the back of his teammate. He's riding a slipstream, being towed along. And he's gaining. He's not close enough at turn 4 to make any form of attack. Vito's absolutely nailed that, and he's pulled out a right. Oh, we have Nelson's going completely off the circuit. And Nelson himself has got to be really careful to not get a track limits warning. As I say that, he's gone and got it, and he's picked up a long lap penalty. So Nelson, in the next 2 laps, has to serve a long lap penalty. Otherwise, he will gain. He'll be given an extra 7 seconds, which will give Rold his second podium of the season if you don't count the sprints. And Nelson making big mistakes all the time now. He's gone from being right at the back of VTR, and just after that, maybe that little bit about his slipstream just dominated, affected him missing his braking zone, and then the added tyre pressure, and he just power rolled into all sorts of mistakes. And Rolls now within 6 tenths per second, but that is going to turn into a 3rd place position for Rolls, very easy 3rd place. And VTR runs very wide out the final corner. He just can't make the corner. I'm wondering if VTR maybe he's got the wrong brakes on. His brakes are just overheating. I mean, I've never had a problem with brakes on this circuit, but I don't actually remember what brakes I used for this circuit. I would imagine it'd be the 355s, given how heavy the braking is. But the 340s, I reckon, can give a good lap time, but I don't know how much they overheat. Reps out in front by 3.5 seconds. This race is more or less won for him. He's just got to bring the bike home, and he's gone, and he'll take his second victory in succession. Here comes Nelson to take his long lap penalty. Oh no, I think he's failed it. He has. So he's got one more lap to do it, and that's going to give Nelson Howling now the chance of, he's going to let Howling back inside the top 5. Rolls now is under pressure from Amir to Heath. VTR, I think he's definitely accepted his fate. He's no longer closing in the gap he was to Reps. 3, it's just constantly going up now. I think he's giving up, praying that Reps makes some form of stupid error to give him some sort of chance of victory. But Reps will start the final lap. Now as Amir to Heath dives up the inside of Rolls into the final hairpin. But Amir runs really wide and Rolls retakes the place. But Amir is actually going to take the position. Oh! The two of them are coming together. Amir trying to let Roll through strategically here. And all this is going to allow Howling and Nelson to close in, even though Nelson's pretty irrelevant in this situation. As Rolls holding on to this podium place for dear life. Hard on the brakes into turn 4. Amir closing up so quick. Oh, Rolls hits the curve. That gives him a front end moment. And Nelson's not bothering to do his long lap penalty. So that's going to put him down in. That's going to put him in 8th place. Oh, Roger with another moment on the front end. He's going to have to come down to the final corner. Or Amir's going to go up the inside of Rolls. Beautiful move. Unbelievable. Fantastic move from Amir to Heath to maybe take his second, third place in a row. Hard on the brakes for Reps into the final corner, and he's going to take his second victory in succession. VTR will take second. Who will win the battle for third place? And I think it's going to be Amir into the final corner. He holds on. Oh, Nelson's gone down the final corner. I don't believe it. He's gone. Amir takes third. Rolls is fourth. Howling finishes in fifth. Moyes takes sixth. Dick jumping in seventh. And Hooley Carr will round out the field in eighth. And Nelson will be given ninth. Unbelievable. So Reps takes his victory once again and holds off VTR's championship win for another week. VTR takes second, Amir third. So another Repsol Honda, Factory Aprilia, well, a Reps, Factory Aprilia and Amir podium, with VTR being on the podium instead of Nelson this time round. Rolled in fourth, Howling returns to the top five in fifth, Schmoy's in sixth, Nick jumping seventh, and Hooley Carr rounds out the field in eighth. And I presume VTR is going to be the only person we can speak to, but I think Howling's in here, so we might as well speak to Howling as well afterwards. So just waiting for VTR.
Yep.
So VTR, fair to say that was quite, possibly, I think that's probably the best and craziest race we've had all season. Loads of overtakes, loads of crashes, loads of barging. I think everybody was guilty of some form of contact at some point in the race. Unfortunately, weren't able to take the championship home with you today, but still, you're more or less going to win the title. How was the race for you today?
I'm frustrated because I just have such rotten luck. I mean, all season I've not been too bad, you know. I mean, I've stayed out of things, but the last two races I just can't stay out of it. I'm constantly involved in bikes on the track, hitting things, running wide. It was just. It's not a bad race for me, my pace was good, it's just incidences that I just got caught up in. Obviously my first crash, Reps lost the front on me and I got swiped out, nothing he could really do, it's a racing incident, it was unlucky for him. And then my second crash, I hit a bike in the middle of the track, so yeah, there's literally nothing I could do. My pace was strong, I did have the fastest lap over Nelson I believe, so that was always quite nice. Rep's also very close. He was very fast, so yeah, it was a good race overall. But yeah, once again, it's just people being crazy on the track. A lot of incidents. I have to say, I was a little bit messy with Amir Tifa, so I apologise to him. I made a few collisions with him. He could have easily gone down, so yeah, lucky enough he didn't. But yeah, lucky enough where me and him stayed on, and yeah, Rep's pace was really good. And yeah, apart from that, good race to him, and can't wait to race him in Mugello again. And unlucky to Nelson because yeah, I don't know what happened, but I'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, and I know from my experience when I was practicing this track and when you had the few laps in the dry that we had, I felt like because of how powerful the slipstream is around this track, it just sort of generates the sort of ease to overtake, but at the same time, because of how wide it is, it invites the pass so easily that you get all this chaos. So you reckon that was a big factor in all this melee you were involved in? It's
not an easy track to overtake in general, so yeah. I mean, my pace wasn't bad here, like I said. It was just the actual overtake, and I think if Reps didn't hit me when we crashed together, then I reckon I would have been able to get away. But yeah, the last 3 laps the gap was up, and yeah, I kind of just stopped pushing. I went to power 1 and just cruised at home really. And also my my long lap, I probably could, if I asked to get rid of the long lap, I probably would have done, but I took it just because why not? Because just in case I'd have lost any more positions. But yeah, probably could have got rid of it. And anyway, I think Reps would have won anyway. But yeah, good race for him, and yeah.
Yeah, so well done.
Yeah.
And we will move on to our 5th place rider for once, Howling, since you're here. First question, what was it like to lead a VollGass race again?
It was good, and I knew I could have won this race, not capping. I'm so frustrated basically, because I just make a good overtake on somebody that, yeah, just, you know, last race had something against me about my overtakes. I try to prove him right that I'm clean. He does the same back, and then there's somebody from the back that just, I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know if you saw what happened, but I have no idea what happened in turn 2. I just turn in, I had to sit on the bike, and suddenly I get taken out, and I don't know what, man. Like, I'm so frustrated, because if you look at the pace here, apart from Reps and VTR, I was the fastest guy on the track. So I'm really gutted.
Well, you were in like a 6-7 bike train where you were all separated by like 1 second or something like that. So my guess is the amount of slipstream that was going on, the fact that every person was getting on each other when it came to the braking zone, everybody was braking where they usually brake, which means you're entering a lot faster, and chaos ensued. And I think 3 of you ended up going down.
Yeah, and the thing was, I came from last place basically, apart from 1 or 2 bikes. I had a bad stinker of a start, wheel spin. I thought like, alright, let me just focus and calm down, you know. And you saw, I was calming down, and I made my positions up. At a certain point I was 3rd, I believe, and then that crash between Smoich and Nelson, that weird one, you know, that when Nelson rejoined, suddenly they connect, and, you know, that was, for me, my time, like, okay, I'm in 2nd, now time to push, you know, but sometimes I cannot catch a break, man. But well, that's life sometimes, isn't it?
Yep. It is, but it's another. You're back in the top 5. You showed good potential, so take that into Mugello, where did you win there last year? I remember you down.
No, let's say in the season that I raced, I got on the podium with the Yamaha, and before that with the Honda,
Oh, that was it. Yeah,
12.
I remember. Yeah. I remember that, like 4 of you in the battle for the podium anyway. But yeah.
With the LCR, with Nelson and Finley Berman.
Finley, yeah. Oh, that race was crazy.
Catching up.
But I recommend you all watch this race back, because the amount of chaos that was going on every single lap was.
I did enjoy it up till the crash that I got taken.
Yeah, I can imagine, because you're in a bike group of 6.
Yeah, for real. Well, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, no problem. So that has been it for round number 8. Back with round 9 next week, which will be a sprint. So keep an eye on that. And where 2 champions may be crowned in Division 2 and 1. Most likely they will be. given they have 30 plus points advantages and there will only be 15 points remaining after. But you never know, things can go wrong. But yeah, that's been it for today, and we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.